soy loco por ti chica, come señorita, turn off notifica. Come back home, let me freak ya, jump inside the beamer, you control the lever.
Now currently sat here with Willski, formerly known as Willski Pezza, but I believe I'm right in saying that it is now Willski, is that correct?
It is now Willski, the Pezza's buggered off.
So, how are you?
Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm going, I don't know, I'm just carrying on, isn't it, really? That's all you can do. You know, I moved out to London, got my own place. Did a big change in my life. I think it needed to happen. So, yeah, I haven't seen anybody a lot recently down here at all. So,
how's living in London? Do you like it?
How's being in London?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's what I need. It's where the opportunities are. You know, I think I've always had a bit of a bigger mindset when it came to music, and I thought I'd broaden my own horizons and go to London. And obviously, I think it's fantastic. I love it. Position, I'm in Stratford. Rail links, bus links, get into uni quickly, and it's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. How's like the hustle and bustle, like with it being busy? Because obviously, like around here is a lot quieter, I presume. So, is it fast life?
Yeah, I think for now, it's what I need. I think at this point in my life, at this age as well, I can adapt obviously really well with the fast lifestyle. That's what I think being in the music scene, it correlates to that as well. You know, that you're always, you know, thinking of stuff, and obviously it's there on your doorstep as well. Everything is there on your doorstep. Whereas obviously down here, you can do as much as you can, but obviously the actual facilities are kind of you don't have as many. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think you're sort of limited for choices around here. I haven't seen you or spoke to you at all. But obviously I do follow you, private account, Karma Talks account and whatnot. I can't help but notice that for the last few weeks you've like been promoting your new music video, Time to Shine. So how's that? Are you excited?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I think I'm excited for it. I think it's it was a good, it's a new thing for me to do. Obviously as an artist I'm learning every day. Yeah, no, I'm massively excited for it. I think it's getting close to desperation now. I just kind of want it out. I'm sick of it already. And actually, probably by the time this goes out, it's already out anyway. So hopefully, I'll hit 1 million. If I haven't, it's fine. But no, it was. I'm really excited for it, and I think it gives people an opportunity to kind of realise that I'm not just messing about when it comes to this. You know, I'm taking it seriously.
It does look different. It looks different to other things that you've done before. Forgive me, I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the track, but I did know that you had a track that you did with like cars, and there was a young girl in it as well as like sitting in a car.
It was
out front of the car. But you know, so that's the only thing really similar that I can sort of put to this. I mean, even though it's so different.
I think the front seat was
yes,
almost rushed. It was rushed, and I think the vast difference between Front Seat and Time to Shine, I think everyone's going to see that. I think it was very unprofessional back then, and I think I had the wrong mindset as well. Everything just seems to have taken a big step with this. It's a lot more professional.
Little shotgun now. Little shotgun now. Yeah, hey.
Just to learn a little bit about you, for the people that aren't so familiar with Willski, for the people that weren't familiar at all with Willski Pezza, what got you into music? And yeah, like where did you sort of like first find your feet recording music, shooting music videos?
Well, I think so. Music in general. My my dad's side of the family are massively musical. So they, you know, my dad's been in bands over the years. My granddad was really into music. So I always had that influence growing up. Started playing the saxophone when I was 8, and stopped that around about 14, 15 because I didn't think it was cool. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, and then I think when it came to my own stuff, I was massively into sort of writing poems when I was young. Anyway, and I think that just it just sort of went into writing music, and then I came across A1 in Kings Lynn. This was around the time when I had my YouTube channel, which was when I was Willski Pezza, and yeah, I was going to do a diss track towards this guy. Shout out Alex, and yeah, I think it was just it sort of merged into two, where I had this idea of doing a diss track, and then I think I might have met. I think I met Blitz first. I think Blitz came into either my place of work or something like that, and I met him, and then he introduced me to A1, and then they introduced me to Tea House. So all of a sudden, I had a group with music that I didn't know were there before. And I think, in terms of my first track, Big Mistake. It was a big mistake, in all honesty, but it is what it is. No, I had fun with that, and obviously Tea House Connection. Shout out to them really, because they did help me. They did help me in terms of the lyrics, in terms of writing back then, and yeah, it was that kind of seeing them obviously recording music. They had the studio in their bedroom, so it was like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got that, that's available to me. So, and then I think it just went from there. Me and them did a track together. So I did my own diss track to Alex, and then we did another one, which was with Tea House. And yeah, like I say, I think it went from there. I was massively into carrying it on, and then I got the opportunity to.
Yeah, so they kind of just sort of like helped you plant the seed, and then you sort of grew, really.
yeah. It was the off chance of meeting them, and I think I always had in mind that I wanted to do the music thing.
Yeah.
I think it would have been years, and maybe I wouldn't even be in the position I am now if it wasn't for meeting Bliss then. It might have happened when I was like 20 rather than a few years prior. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into music. And then
so do you still carry on the YouTube channel? Obviously, like you said, Willski Pezza has gone. So is the YouTube channel a thing anymore? Like, do you still vlog? I think I remember watching a few things a few years ago where you used to vlog like your trips and like things that you got up to. Is that a thing anymore?
No, it's not. I think that person to me is it's unrecognisable, really. I think I had fun doing it. I love doing it. Look, I always had a bit of rubbish for doing it, of course, but I enjoyed it. It gave me something to do, and looking back, I don't regret anything. I know I've done some weird stuff on there, but I don't regret anything. It is what it is. So yeah, to answer your question, I know I tend to ramble a little bit, but no, to answer your question, it's just that I don't do anymore. But you won't see any more videos of me. Not that I can think.
So, but the thing is that you could turn that into something good. Like, obviously, if it's not your thing anymore, that's absolutely understandable. But like, there's so many things you could do that would touch on what you used to enjoy, but maybe not the things that you did. So, for example, you could take a camera, for the new year and record yourself in the studio, make vlogs, but like not so much cheesy chatty to the camera, but hello, I'm in this studio today, this is what we're working on, and just get shots of like you and the lads or you and these models that you've been using, and make a vlog, so you can still bring that element into your life if it was something that you enjoyed that much that you perhaps might want to include with your future.
Yeah, of course. I think I've always wanted to do some kind of document, always document as much as I can, and then maybe in the future do like a documentary or something. I was really inspired by Bazinga's documentary, funnily enough. I don't know if anybody watched that, but I was really inspired by that, and also one of my close friends is also doing a documentary as well, and it just kind of gave me that idea. So yeah, in terms of that, maybe.
So moving on, In terms of like previous work and things like that you've done, obviously we've had the mention of Tea House Connection and the diss track and things like that you perhaps don't want to touch on so much. But have you worked with anybody else regarding music? I mean, obviously apart from Tea House, have you done any tracks with anybody else? Have you had anybody else involved?
Yeah, I've had the absolute pleasure of studying at a music school, a university, which is, you know, one of the best in the world. They have bases in Mumbai, Ibiza, Los Angeles. It's a fantastic school, and I'm surrounded by, you know, the future DJ stars, the future platinum producers, the future artists. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah. So I've had the pleasure of working with Mo Alka. We teamed up. We did a track, No Type. Then another one from the album. I'm quite close with him. A guy called Milan. I've also worked with me and Shavain as well. We had something. It's not released, but we had something. Worked with Sebastian Dior, who's also a local lad. Fantastic, very talented. Worked with Laura Delia, who is abroad currently, I believe. But she's from, I don't know what she said she's abroad. What I meant was she's going to kill me if I say this wrong. I think she's Belgian, I think. But yeah, so and there's a long more list of people that I'm going to be working with, and working with as well.
Anybody following this channel, anybody following Blitz or whatever, would have seen that I interviewed him, and that was released last Monday. Goodness me, we're only on Thursday, so this Monday just gone, and yeah, basically there was a question that I'd asked him about who he regrets working with and who he would like to work with again, and you know, your name was mentioned with both of those questions. Talking about obviously how, you know, he was the first person you met from Tea House, and obviously you were sort of saying that they did help you and things like that. How does that make you feel to hear, and why do you think he's saying those things?
I don't know really. I mean, like I say, they did introduce me to start my to give me the, you know, the sort of boost I needed to get my music going. They did. Can't take that away from them at all. You know, all hats off to them. But I never knew. I never really got tight with them enough to comment on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't really know them as a character. I knew them from a business perspective with like the music and stuff, but I never really knew them personally. Maybe more A1 than I did any of the other. I'd like to say Stove or Blitz, but no. I think back then I was an individual who, I'm not going to say deserved, because I don't think anybody really deserves to get you know, bad stuff when they're not intentionally doing it badly. But I think I was a very different person back then, and I just simply wasn't very good at music. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, fair play. If Blitz hasn't seen sort of the progression that I've made, or he doesn't see a progression at all, he still thinks that I'm not good. Well, you know, I'm like I said at the start, I'm nowhere near a finished artist. I'm learning and developing myself every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a finished artist. Even in a few years' time, I can say that. You know, so it doesn't make me feel any type of way, really. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. And just because he's gone on there and called me an effing idiot, I don't know whether you want me to swear in this, but it's just like, all right. But I'm not going to say anything about him simply because I don't know him. And yeah, I just think that it was probably a passing comment, maybe to get a reaction. There was a comment made afterwards, which is obviously allow it with music, like sort of allow yourself that. I think I respect that. If you're going to say that, okay, fine. Give me some constructive criticism as to why. So tell me why. What am I doing wrong? Because I'll feed off that. That's fine. Otherwise, if you're just making a straight dead comment, then it just, I'm not even paying attention to it. It's like whatever. I replied to it nicely. you can look in the description of Blitz's interview. I replied to it nicely. I do genuinely hope he does establish himself, and that's, you know, no cap. I mean, this interview is dead honest. I hope he does, and I'd hope that for anyone. If you've really got a passion or a dream, I hope you follow that. But no, I just think that, yeah, even if you were an artist that had 12 top 10 hits in 12 weeks and you were enormous and you turned around to me and said, allow it with music, I still wouldn't listen to you. I might consider it for about 20 minutes and go, he's saying it, but no, I wouldn't do it, because I'm not finished yet. I'm literally only getting started.
Good for you. I like that. No, I like that comment, and I think like we should leave it there. Like you've replied to that, and that's absolutely fair enough. Blitz was very much within his rights to say what he said. I asked him the question. I got it.
Exactly.
But you know, it's the same with anyone. I just think, you know, it would have been nice to have perhaps heard why, because then we could have maybe spoke about that. But you know, if that is absolutely his opinion, and your response is very grown and very mature, and good for you. When I spoke to you last week and we prepped the interview for this evening, and we sort of wrote down a few things that you may like to touch on, we got into a conversation a little bit about your mental health and stresses that you're dealing with on a daily life, juggling uni, juggling the lockdown, juggling COVID, juggling just everything as a whole, really. I mean, you know, it was just a normal conversation we got onto, with COVID being the top thing at the moment, sort of impacting a lot of people's lives, more than not. But yeah, we've got deep into a conversation about your mental health and things like that, and I feel like maybe it's something that you may like to address this evening.
I do think it's something I do need to talk about. I think I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression when I was young, and it was around about the age of 15, 16. Obviously, there's a lot of mental stuff going on at that time anyway, a lot of changes in the old body. And I was confused as to why I had it. I was always very confident, and as much as I'd seen a lot of stuff in life before, which is actually where I found out it actually came from, I was fine, and it was really weird time to discover that. I had a bad panic attack where I was basically getting physical effects. So I'd always say to people, I wasn't anxious. I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. Now, there's no triggers. There's just nothing at all. It will just happen. And basically, I had it explained to me that there's a thing in your brain, a chemical, is called serotonin, and that basically remains you calm, sort of, it makes you with the whole world sort of thing. So like, it controls your emotions and feelings and stuff, and it can ground you, sort of thing. And basically, through traumatic things in my life that happened, it's chipped away at that chemical. And it got to the point where I was looking at myself in the mirror and I didn't know who that person was. And whenever I heard people speak on that, I always used to think, do you not know that? But to have first-hand experience, it's a worrying time. And I think around that time of sort of 18 years of age, 2 years on from when I got the diagnosis, I was having like 4 or 5, I just sort of attacks every day. They were physical. I wasn't crying. I wasn't doing any of that. It was just my breathing would go. My heart was like clenching. I thought my lungs were just going to just stop working. Breathlessness and everything. And I think it was more based off of confusion. I almost didn't want to accept what I had because I almost didn't have time for it, and I think I'm still guilty of that now. I don't really look into it enough, which is why I wanted to obviously speak about it now. I don't ever want anyone to feel bad for me when I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. There's none of that. I just want you to realise that actually it's okay to open up, and it's okay to speak about, because not everything is as it seems in an Instagram video or an Instagram photo. And sometimes you really do need to check up on those people. A week and a half ago, I was ready to not be here anymore. I was on my way, and I always told myself that that would never be what I would do. I've got 3 younger brothers who I love dearly, got my parents who I love as well, and just my whole family. And you know, if you were to do that, I always believed that if you were to do that to yourself, you're doing it to everyone. You know, they remember that for the rest of their lives. But I think it was at that moment that I realised what goes through a person who would go on to commit suicide, what goes through their mind in that moment. And I was just ready to go. For the past 6 months, I've been in a relatively constant state of dissociation. So dissociation is like basically when nothing seems real. Like everything seems to be merging into one. It messes with your senses, and I think over the years my mental health has grown stronger. And as much as I like to think that I've matured, which I believe I have, I'm a different person now. I think I've potentially got weaker simply by pushing it to the side, and always being able to put a mask on, always being able to do that, and yeah, I just kind of, yeah, I'm right now. I'll look at you, everyone watching this, and I'll tell you I'm not in a good place right now. But I'm more saying it because I need other people to come out and say this. Too many guys think it's not right. You know, oh, fuck it, it'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'll deal with it. Whatever it is, what it is. But you got to speak on it because it will eat you up inside. And if it wasn't for a certain individual a week and a half ago, I wouldn't be it. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but now I can sit here and say that you know I can carry on. I need to carry on doing what I'm doing, because everything on the outside, it's never been more positive. Music video dropping. I've released an album this year from my late granddad, and you know the support I've been getting is phenomenal. But yeah, mentally it's been tough.
And
it's been
that must be, you know, well done for getting that out, because it is just truly admiring to be able to see somebody talk about their issues and get that out, and to talk for maybe a lot of people that are suffering in silence. So well done, and thank you really for that, and for opening up to such personal matters in your life. Is there anybody that you're talking to? Did you find comfort in talking to a certain professional or individual, or what sort of steps did you take to perhaps get to where you are now?
I realised that I needed to understand it. It was based off a confusion at the start, so I spoke to I spoke to my GP, and I was put onto medication at the same time as I was going to this group therapy thing where you basically learn about what it is that goes on in your head. And I was the youngest one in the room. There was people sat next to me who were in the ambulance service, and on a regular basis are seeing people die and are seeing mangled bodies. And then there's just me sat here with a bit of a problem in the head, not quite, you know. And it's almost realising that actually it is a problem, and everyone's problems are a problem. If it's a problem to you, then that's it. You haven't got to compare.
Definitely.
So that was good because I was able to understand what the chemical side to things that goes on.
Did you find that your therapy helped? Did you find that those sessions helped you?
Say again, sorry.
Did you find that those sessions helped you?
Yeah. I think it would. I think because you haven't got to talk, and that's the thing that I think people think therapy is. With these ones, you can just sit there in the room and you just listen. They don't put anything on you. All they're doing is teaching you what it is, and to come away with that knowledge and know the chemical side. I think that helps with the whole anxiety part, because sometimes it's like, wait, what's going on? But now I can say, I know what's going on. I just got to deal with it.
Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on about that?
Anything else I'd like to touch on about that? I think I am always looking for. I'm always looking to hear people's stories. Always looking to hear, because for so long I thought I was the only one that was experiencing just the physical stuff, but it was like really tough physical stuff, and I thought I was the only one. And I just want to hear, your story. If you are going through something, my Instagram is official Willski. The messages are there. Just talk, just vent, just send a big message, whatever. And if you want my advice, I'll give you my advice. If you don't, I'll just listen. Society nowadays, there's too many pressures on young girls, especially the Dutch Valley around. There's too many pressures on image, and who's got the better phone, who's got the better shoes. I think we're not paying enough attention to our own mentality, really. So.
There's just a few charities there. There are a small fraction of charities there that you can get hold of, and you can talk about your feelings should you want to. And there are many more on the NHS website. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out for anybody struggling. Is there anybody that you'd like to work with, or anybody that you'd perhaps not like to work with?
Are we talking anyone? Are we talking locally, or are we talking international?
Okay, so if we do like locally, because obviously, like if you say you're being in London, you list a lot of artists there that are working at your music school and things like that. So locally, as in home, so as in Norfolk, is there anybody around here that you may perhaps like to team up with, or anybody that you'd actually rather not?
I don't know. I think there's. I have got. I don't know whether I'd be able to even jump on a track with him, in all honesty, because we're very different sounds and very different sort of genres that we're doing. But I must admit, I've got so much respect for Sleep's cousin now, isn't it? Not Barker, Sleep's cousin. So much respect for him. He lyrically has got it down to a T. And I don't know whether it's like I appreciate what he's doing and it's really good, or that's someone I'd like to work with, but it kind of falls under the same bracket. If I was doing that type of thing, I'd love to work with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'd love to work with him. I think he's absolutely fantastic. In terms of people I wouldn't want to work with, I don't really know. There's no one I'd really not want to work with, because I never want to limit myself. But yeah, no, I don't. I can't think of anyone at all who I wouldn't want to work with.
We did have a conversation about when there are playlists made by certain people from the Norfolk area, when there are people promoting things. Sleep Cousin will share Scopes, and Scopes will share A1, and then you've got like all different people around here that are doing different things. People sharing like Lee production, and then you've got like Little League recordings, and all of this work's going on around the area. Your name is never mentioned.
Yes.
So why do you think that is? I mean, do you think it's a personal thing, or what?
I think. Do you know what? I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of personal and a bit not. I think. I know the majority of artists in the area. I'd like to think I do. But yeah, I know of the majority of artists in the area, and yeah, I think a lot of them knew me for who I used to be, and I think if they've got it this far in the interview, they're going to realise I'm not that person anymore. But so I think there is that personal side. But then, I think actually, what I had to do was, because I went to London, I had to go through this change process, right? So I took myself away from anything that could have been happening here that I could have got involved with in terms of music. So I kind of became a bit of a bystander. I don't think they realised that I do watch everything that a lot of the artists around here are doing. And yeah, I think it's all about making people understand your direction. And do they take me seriously? I don't think they do. I don't think they take me seriously. I went to London and I basically had nothing. I had no money. I was living off the student loan.
Yeah.
I've got my own place in Stratford, which I pay for myself. I am following a music dream, which I'm taking fully seriously. Otherwise, I would not be at uni doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm at uni doing music production and sound engineering because I want to know that aspect of things. All of these lecturers are in the scene anyway. And I would not be shelling out the money and tirelessly working. If anyone has worked with me in the past year, they will all say I'm ruthless. And whether that can be positive or negative, I'm absolutely ruthless with it because I'm always wanting to get better. I'm always wanting to achieve that next level.
Yeah.
And I hope that people have seen, when Time to Shine drops and when the next project drops. I hope people have seen that progression. I am dead serious about this. My love for music is too much. Maybe it's too much, but I will not stop.
Some of the artists around here do know you personally. I think you went to the same school. So do you think it's like anything to do with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. 100%. I think it's personal as well as anything else. It is. They know me for who I used to be, and that person to me now is unrecognisable. And I think anyone that's got this far in the interview can hopefully see that. I had to make a big change. I've spent 2 years living on my own, nearly 3 years living on my own, bettering myself. And do I blame them for having the thoughts on me that they do? No, I don't. I created the problems for myself back then, 100%. But it comes to the point where if you're still not open enough to change and realise who I actually am now, but you're still having those thoughts based on a person who I used to be, but you're still making them comments now, they're completely invalid.
When you were saying that obviously you went to London and you started a new life there and you've been doing university and that's what you're currently doing at the moment, where are you hoping university will get you based on your music? Like, where are you hoping that you taking this course is going to get you?
I hope that obviously I can achieve the degree, which is that's going to happen anyway. That's in my mindset. I'm getting that degree. Moving forward, because I'm there till 2023, so I have got so much time to meet so many more people, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to meet people. That's what that sort of environment is fantastic for. And moving forward, I'd like to take that degree to be able to open my own studios, start my own label. With a difference, I think the labels nowadays are all money grabbing, aren't they, really? And I kind of want to make it more accessible to up and coming artists. It's almost like you have to get, like people talk about that luck thing, like the music scene is all based on luck, and it shouldn't be. It should be based on talent. And I think if you look at some of the people that are getting these number ones, Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, they lack the talent. Listen, I don't know what it is that they've got, but it works. Individuality, uniqueness, I don't know. But I think I just want to make it more accessible, like I say, to up and coming talent.
Like I do with every artist, I ask the public to get involved with their questions. If there's anything that they want to hear asked on the interview, you don't have to answer them. But these haven't come from me, so I just want to make that clear. These are the questions that have been put to me via the Karma Talks account that they want you to answer. So, one of the questions was, what was the beef between you and A1? Is there still beef, and if not, how did you resolve it?
Me and A1, it's been a bit of a love-hate relationship over the years. Bless him. Look, listen, he's got a beautiful family, and he's very good at emceeing. He's very good at doing what he does. I can't take that away from him. I respect his art form massively. But No, there's. I wouldn't say there's any beef. I think there has been. Yeah, there has been a bit to and fro, bit of immature chat either way. But look, I think at the end of the day, I wouldn't. I don't think either of us would see each other in the street and give each other a hug. Probably not during the pandemic at the moment, but you know what I mean. But it's one of them like respectful things. It's like a civil thing. Like we'll chat, of course. And yeah, I think he's grown up now. I think I've grown up now as well. So yeah, pass it.
How many tracks have you shared of local artists, and what ones, if you have? So this means like promoting them. Have you shared tracks with anyone around here? I think it's just like a similar sort of question as to what we've touched on about how you feel like you're never promoted. Do you promote others?
I think so. I've shared a few things for A1 in the past. One of his songs actually in my playlist, Tidal. I love that song. I shared Sebastian Dior's stuff as well. Obviously, I've worked with him as well. Massive talent. I think I've shared when it was Barker. So when he was Barker, some of his stuff years ago, and I've mentioned him to many people as well. So yeah, I have shared local artists. Maybe not loads of them. Specifically the ones that tend to not mention me. Because they mention me, you know what I mean? But
well, yeah, of course, it's just a little bit of like, you know, why am I gonna?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's absolutely fine. And understandable. I get it. Why is the is it private education? B.
Private education.
So similar to Rain by H, and why did you acknowledge that in your lyrics?
Why did I acknowledge that actually in the lyrics? Yeah, now that's a good question. Man. Do you know what it is? When I'm choosing music or when I'm working with a producer, if they've made something and it hits me in a certain way, I have to do that track. Bearing in mind, I've listened to thousands of beats, and probably like 30 of them have hit me, so I've had to do them, or I'm working on them now. Then it was just when I heard that, I instantly heard Rain by AJ Tracy and H, and at the time it was big. I think, you know, back then, which is when I was planning the album right at the start of this year, it was big. But I just loved the beat. It was slightly different, obviously, but it did have the same sort of chord structure as Rain. So I acknowledged it. The reason I acknowledged it is, I think, because I knew people would mention it. I knew it would be in the comments. I think it's also because I had another comment on a video. The reason why it's called Private Education is because I had a comment on a video about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it was something like, "Oh yeah, rap ain't for you. Go back to your private education." So that's why it's actually called Private Education. Which, you know, very interesting comment there. But yeah, so yeah.
Why do you not make any effort to get involved with the scene in your local area?
I think. Why do I not make any effort? I might do. But I think that there are things that I would want to get involved with. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to work with any of the artists in the area. What I don't want to get involved in is the beef. I need to, at this point of my career, be making as many friends as possible, not enemies. Because as much as drama is very interesting at the start, you lose that relatability. In music, you almost have to relate to it. And if it's just two artists beefing each other, it's fun at the start, and then it gets boring.
Yeah.
And I'm not really about that. So I think a lot of the scene has been based around that whole beefing side, and that's why I haven't got involved in it. But who's to say that I won't work with someone? I just think that I'm currently I'm working with people who are, this is going to sound awful, they're a bigger stature, and they're almost not more talented. I'm not going to say they're more talented. They're just more committed to music.
When you say more committed, like, what do you mean? Because obviously I feel like...
Look, when I say
like
they're more...
Sleep's cousin is sort of, you know, and I'm not taking this down your throat, I'm just sort of, you know, I want you to sort of expand. Sleep's cousin is, you know, bashing out...
No, this is what I was about to say. It's what I was about to say. Sleep's cousin is completely aside from what I'm about to say, right? I've already said to you lot that I'd want to work with him if I was doing what he was doing.
So when you're saying that they take music a little bit more seriously, like, really honestly...
No. I mean, in terms of commitment, in terms of actually working on music, actually doing things, and I think it's difficult for Blitz and A1 to be doing that. They've got a family. But I am working on music 24/7. When I mean 24/7, I wake up and I'm writing lyrics, or I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for the rest of the day in terms of music. Sleep's cousin aside, I see what he's doing. I follow him. I know what he does.
I feel like I totally understand what you're saying. However, living with this artist and knowing him, I feel if he didn't have me and our daughter to think about, he would also be smashing the singles out every single day. From the minute that this artist wakes up, he's on his phone, and he does head in. To put it bluntly, he does my head in. So he's very, very committed. And sometimes I wish he gave me a bit more attention than his lyrics. So I do feel like he probably doesn't fall under that comment. If that's your opinion, that's absolutely fair enough. But I feel like...
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is then. I'll tell you what it is completely, straight to the point. It's professionalism. That's what it is. It's the professional side to it. It's knowing the business side behind it. All of the people that I'm working with now in the scene in London and globally, I'm working with someone in India, I'm working with someone in Spain coming soon. These guys are covering themselves. Everything is there, everything is contracted, everything is done properly, and they are fully committed. If they say that they're gonna do something, they're doing it, and that is the bracket that I fall under.
Yeah.
I'm doing it 24/7.
Yeah.
So right now, in terms of
keeping that level of professionalism.
Blitz hasn't released a track or done anything in 10 months.
No.
Right? As much of the fact of I had my album, and that was in July, when I am telling you that I have got things to release, yes, I have things to release. I could sit here and show you 40 songs that I've got ready. And you'll see them, and you'll get them. It's just the professionalism side.
Do you know what, that comment, I can agree with a lot more. It's not for me to agree. You can say
that's what it is. That's what
this
it
is your time. This is your time to say whatever you feel. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong or you're right.
Yeah, I think what I said previously was about the committed thing. But I think in order to be committed in the music scene, you have to be professional.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't necessarily take back what I said about the committed thing, because as a whole of being committed within music, you have to have that professional side. Yeah. If you're just doing whack off things and or whatever, or you're just like not marketing properly, if you're not thinking about different ways to distribute yourself, then and protect yourself and carry yourself, who you are, being yourself.
Well, it's been nice to talk and to hear a little bit more about you. I feel like this interview's been a lot more deeper, and I like it because it sort of touched a lot to home for me. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
I think I should probably say thanks for the support on the music video, because this will go out after the music video, so I should probably say thanks for that. But right now, it's like 2 days before it goes out, so I don't know how well it's done, but I appreciate everyone's support. If you've got this far, thank you so much for listening. Thanks to Karma Talks as well for giving me the platform to be able to do this. I felt like I'd lost my connection with you lot for a while, so it's nice to just sit down and speak. And I know I can ramble on a lot as well, so you might have clicked off and thought, "No, bun this, I ain't listening." But yeah, thank you, and and when I tell you that I have got so much planned in 2021, there's a lot of things going on behind the work. So, and that's completely true. If you want to see it and you want to see that story and that story unfold, then follow me on Instagram, official Willski, and you'll see all the stuff I've got coming.
Cool. I'm excited. So thank you for taking the time out to talk to us, and I will catch up with you again, because by that point we will have time to shine to actually talk about and how that's got on, and perhaps any new music that you're working on. So thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to me this evening, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Fantastic. It's been lovely to speak to you.
Spin around, it's your time to shine. I wanna hear that applause when you wind down low, yeah. Baby, don't be shy, we can have a little jiggle, then it's time to go.